right, Dave? Can you give us an update on what the starting pitching, the third starter, and the midweek stuff looks like?
Well, right now we're leaning towards Blake Adams in Game 3, freshman, and he's just been really consistent. We've had a couple of guys throw well. I mean, you look at Cole Ramage, his numbers this fall have been really good, and we just like experience in that bullpen, and it'll flip around a little bit. The next week we got 4 games, so obviously that's 4 starters, and guys are going to get their opportunity. We still, as far as the bullpen, I mean, if they're not starting, they're in that bullpen, and all the older guys will finish the games up with those guys right now.
I go back to Sunday. Blake had that rough first inning, but then put together 3 really good innings. Is that kind of the direction you saw?
Yeah, and he's, it's interesting that he was kind of told before that scrimmage, go out and have a good outing. You could kind of solidify some things, and we did that just to kind of put a little pressure on him, see how he could handle it. And you think about who he's facing. Those first couple of hitters are pretty good, and he fought through that, and then he came out and pitched really well. Kind of showed us something there, and hitters are good, and you got 2 teams. Our team broke up into 2 teams. Usually your first 3 or 4 hitters on each team are going to be the guys in the starting lineup, and they're going to get you every now and then. That's why they're at this level.
Dave, what's Moore been like?
He's been good. I think I knew he would hold his own as a player. I just wanted to make sure to keep an eye on him, make sure that how's the demeanor? Is he happy? Is he feeling good about his decision and second guessing himself? And I'll talk to him here and there, and I'll ask the players what they think. And he says he's great. Talking to his parents, they said that he's told him this was the best thing he could have done. And the players, they enjoy him. They know he's good enough. They know that he belongs.
How does he look on both sides of the plate when he's batting?
He's done a good job. He's like everybody in the lineup. He's going to strike out every now and then, but he had an opposite field home run. He did a triple down the right field line. He's singled to different parts of the field, both sides of the plate, left or right-handed. And, he's a confident kid. He can bunt. Obviously, he turned double play well. And sometimes we just have to slow him down a little bit in the field. His hands are very quick. And, he just got to have a little bit of, we call it that clock in your head, and you don't have to rush. And but he definitely helps us.
He said the players have been really welcoming to him, as a new guy, young guy. What you thought about that?
Well, they have been. I asked them to just put themselves in his shoes, and this was before the break, the Christmas break. We had a new young guy coming in, and that he could help us, but you got to think where he's coming. He doesn't know anybody in the room, and they needed to. We got a bunch of good guys. I didn't have to say a whole lot. Just tried to lay it out there a little bit, talk to him, let him know who you are, and time will take care of all that, but a lot of times we don't have time. We have 3 weeks before we start playing, so the more they get to know him and he gets to know them, I'm sure he doesn't know everybody's name in the locker room. There's no doubt. But he probably knows all the position players. He doesn't know all the pitchers. So, we've worked on that, and I think the players have done a great job of going out of their way to talk to him and be friendly, and I think he feels like he's one of the guys.
You look at your 1 and 2 with Connor and Patrick. You probably don't have the Blaine Knight and the Isaiah Campbell, but what do you have in those 2 guys?
The interesting part about that question is last year at this time we didn't know what Campbell was. So we're hoping that somebody can evolve to be a shutdown guy, or a guy that every time you put him out there, he's giving you 6 innings, and if you're in the game or you got the lead, we have enough experience in that bullpen to finish it up. And so we just want those guys to go out and be consistent. Connor's a strike thrower, and he's got really good off-speed pitches. His velocity's up. I mean, he's throwing the ball 91, 92 right now all the time. Last year at this time, he was 88 to 91. And then it faded a little bit towards the end of the season. I don't think he's going to fade this year. I think he's going to get stronger when it warms up. But his secondary stuff is good. And then, Wicklander last year, the only issue he had was he walked too many people. And I think his record on the year was like 6-2, something like that. But I can't tell you how many games we took him out in the 4th inning with 2 outs with a 4-1 lead, but he had just walked 2 and the best hitters up, and we had to go to a right-hander. Or, he left some wins on the table. If he throws strikes, he's going to be one of the top lefties in the country.
you feel like he's going to throw strikes?
No doubt. He's throwing a lot better than he would. I mean, we don't even worry about it too much. Now, a lot of counts are 2-2 and 3-2. We'd like him to shorten up some of those at-bats so we could maybe keep him in the game a little longer. That pitch count gets up. Connor will get you some quick innings. They're going to hit Connor a little bit as well, but he can get you in the dugout on 8 pitches. He gets a couple ground balls and a strikeout. With Patrick, the pattern's been, more pitches, more strikeouts. So
He said he didn't throw much of a curve last year, but he's got one now. What has he developed?
yeah, he's developed a better breaking ball, more of a downward action pitch, and Coach Hobbs has worked with him. He worked on it on his own. He worked on it a lot over the holidays, and it's a better pitch, and that's what you got to have. These guys can hit the fastball at this level. What you got to do is you got to have something else to get him out, and he's developing that pitch.
I don't know if anybody's been hotter than Heston so far with the power, and it's early. Just what he can do.
I mean, he's been amazing. We've had 6 scrimmages, and he's getting 2 hits a game, and he hit all fall. He's just a professional hitter. He's really learned how to lay off pitches now, and that's just part of development and some bats. I think playing for Team USA and being around that group, and then that group of kids are some of the highest rated prospects coming out of the draft this year, and he knew he was right at the top of that, has boosted his confidence. But he also learned by watching some of those guys, how they went about their business. But he's worked extremely hard this year, better than ever. And I don't know how you could be, from what I've seen in the fall and spring so far, I don't know how you could have a better hitter.
When Moore came in, that kind of changed some things from the fall, where Heston went back to the outfield. I guess Cole went to first, and
we were going to put Heston
went
back
to third. I mean,
yeah.
We
were going to put Heston back in the outfield anyway. We just wanted to get him some experience, to maybe be spot him over there every now and then. Somebody gets hurt, bring him in the game because we pinch hit for somebody, because we have plenty of outfielders. You could still see Heston play first a little bit, but if we didn't get more, we might have got somebody else. But we had a plan there, and it's getting more has made it easier. That's for sure.
I guess talking to those guys on media day, they were all fine with, like Nesbitt. Hey, I love third, second or third, and they said it helped the versatility that they'd worked at those other spots.
I work all the infielders every year. I work all the infielders at all the positions, especially the middle guys. They're going to play. If they come in as a shortstop and play them at third a little bit and play them at second, I want them to be in the drills at those positions so they know how important it is to make a first throw on a double play, being accurate, how to turn the double play from both sides of the bag, and how to come get a ball from third. And that way, there is versatility. If you get into a game and you have a guy go down or two, all of a sudden you're throwing a guy at third base, he's never played there, but he's an infielder, then they have an excuse right there. I want him to be able to say, yeah, you've played there. And Jacob Nesbitt last year defensively might have been the best third baseman in the SEC statistically. And so we were planning on playing him there possibly, but we had to feel what we were going to do with Cole Austin. We already knew he could play first. He played there at Arizona State. He played third and second. So we worked him out at third most of the time, and those guys can play everywhere.
I know it's probably out of necessity because of the numbers when you split into an inter squad, but Casey Opitz, is that a guy that could fill in at first if you needed to?
And we saw Casey play first base in summer ball before we got him here. And I remember one of the coaches came back and told me, he goes, he's the best first baseman I've seen all year fielding the ball around the bag, picking, and he's such a high energy guy and such a leader on the field. He has fun wherever he plays. But you'll probably see him over there a little bit. And, we're going to try to get guys some time, get guys some rest. It might not start there, but maybe he finishes a game there. And, he could play third if we needed him to. He could play anywhere in the field, to be honest with you.
So you still leaning toward Nolan for the first game, or what's
yeah,
that look like?
that's what it's looking like, because that's where we're, this weekend I'm going to load up a team against Nolan on Friday, and that same team will be Wicklander have to navigate his way through that offense on Saturday. I'm not sure on Sunday yet, just to try to get them ready a little bit. But yeah, that's looking like the order with Nolan on Friday, Wicklander Saturday, and then Adams on Sunday.
If those guys arm wrestle with their non-pitching arms.
Say what?
No, yeah, Wicklander and I guess they couldn't do it with their arm. Yeah, Wicklander and Nolan, they could arm wrestle to see who gets to be the #1 starter.
Yeah, well, they're pretty good buddies, and I wouldn't doubt it if they've done that without me around. So we'll see.
Where are the numbers pitching wise right now as far as number of pitches, and where do you want to get to?
Well, the starters I think are going to be around 70, 75. And Coach Hobbs and I haven't talked about it, but that I know at the beginning of our scrimmages we were trying to get those starters built up to there, and then we have a few guys that their numbers like 50 once we get going, and then there's other guys that their numbers going to be 30, and those are one inning, maybe 4 or 5 out guys.
How about Zebulon in the back end with his hamstring? How's that progressing?
Yeah, he hasn't thrown yet. We're hoping to get him on the mound as far as against hitters. And he's throwing his bullpen this week, and if we can get him out on the mound and he's good to go, then you'll see him against, on the mound opening weekend.
Thanks, Gary.